Well, hello everyone. Maria Recruit here with Amanda Renault on a Rebel Magnetic Rebels. What are we called? We're business
Business
rebels.
renegades.
Renegades. We're business rebels, mavericks, and renegades. Let me tell you, I was trying all those names with Amanda because I wanted it to stand out. I always figured myself as a renegade and as a maverick. So we decided on business renegades on YouTube. Hi, everyone. We're going to be having, we have our YouTube channel, Business Renegades. We're going to have a Facebook, Business Renegades, and we're going to be on Instagram. And Amanda, who's a genius with social media, is going to put us over there. So you're joining us today, and we're talking about how to start a business on a zero budget. And Amanda has some really great ideas. We were discussing it for over an hour earlier today. So, Amanda, I'm going to let you start from magneticpublishing.ca, and your host is the Real Wealth realestate.com. You can see our websites. Join us on YouTube because you're going to see everything we're doing there, and we're also suggesting some products for you to join and use for your business that we're using also. So we're adding that to our ideas of how to start a business on a zero budget. So I'll let you get started, Amanda.
Yeah, and as Maria was saying, we're eventually going to start including affiliate links so you guys can get a
Yes,
discount and you can see
yes,
what we're talking about. And these will be great tools and resources for everyone. And as you see, we're not editing videos. We
no,
are literally giving you guys everything live as we go, as we build it,
yes,
bloopers and all. So
yeah,
that's the
absolutely.
exciting part of it. Because you actually get to see real conversations from real people who are
People,
in the industry, and
yes.
that's what we want to show people. Not the polished versions of things is what a lot of people are often getting online, and that's going to bring us to what we're going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about the why of business and why that is so important.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they start out in business and they think about money. They think that when you start a business, you're going to make $1 million or you're going to make it big. And they have all these wild ideologies because you see online all these influencers and all these different people who, are putting off this persona that it's just easy and everybody can do it and you just need this one last formula or this award or this
Mm-hmm.
course or this, and
Mm-hmm.
people are just, they are just being bombarded with
Yeah.
information and different kinds of things daily. And so one of the things that happened to me in business was that happened to me. I would buy all kinds of software and courses and tools and all kinds of things that I didn't really need. But I felt like I needed them because of the person who was trying to offer me them, or I felt like, oh, if it worked for them, it can work for me too. And that's not always the case with business because every business comes with a unique idea, a unique product, and a
Mm-hmm.
unique service.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, when you open a business, it's because you have something in that industry or sector. Either you have a lot of expertise, you have a new idea, a product that could change the industry, a service that could change the industry. And that's kind of why most people get into the business.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to crack the myths regarding owning a business because you're not going to make $1 million in the first year. And in fact, most business owners incur quite a bit of debt. And so, what we want to do is kind of eliminate you taking on huge debt that you don't need to by offering you guys information and tools and resources that are cost effective and
Yeah.
that will give you some results.
Yes. And that
And
we've used ourselves, Amanda. So when,
exactly.
when we mention anything, it's because we're using it ourselves in our daily business or we've had experience. So we're not trying to sell you anything. We're just trying to help you because that's the name is how to start a business on a zero budget. And certainly you don't even need business cards. I mean, Amanda, what she did for me, I've always had business cards, but people throw your business cards away. If they don't know who you are, what do you need a business card for, right? And I know a lot of influencers that are making a lot of money, Amanda, that don't have business cards. They don't want to be bothered, right? So you come to their courses, you can talk to them then and buy something from them. So business cards are not going to make or break your business. You can, like I had with Amanda, she made me a digital business card. So it's easy, it didn't cost anything. She can do it for you, probably charge very little for you. But that's what we need is somehow they can get in touch with us. But better than them getting in touch with us, because you don't know if they're going to call you or not, is you
Mhm.
get in touch with them. So what you always want to do when you meet somebody is ask them about themselves. Forget about you. First of all, they don't know you. Don't start off talking like this. Oh, I don't want to listen to that. I myself, as a business, I'm a mature business for 44 years. I don't need to tell you about me. Let me find out about you to see if there's a synergy going on that we can exchange services or do something for each other. So this running around from person to person is so really silly, Amanda, and you know that. Even online, even whenever you're doing Zoom calls or whatever else, just relax, guys. You're not going to make a sale for a long time. Did you want to add anything to it,
Time.
Amanda?
Yeah, and I think too, if you go in and you think about your why as a business owner, and what
Yeah,
do we really all want? We want freedom,
yeah,
freedom of time. We want to provide more for our families. We
yeah.
want to connect and align with the right feeling. We want to feel like we are belonging somewhere, that we fit somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people like me, we want to serve other people because we know how to do something and we want to make sure that those people that are seeking that kind of service or product are getting the right product, the right
Exactly,
service. So
exactly.
if you go into a relationship and you just go on the merit of, I'm going to get to know this person, and maybe later on we can do some business down the road,
Mhm.
it's a lot less aggressive than to come
Yes.
in and just bomb people with sales and,
Oh,
see my product, see my this, see my that. I have this award and that award.
yeah.
And people don't care. They don't care about awards.
No,
They don't care about
no.
certifications. Typically, they want somebody that they can trust, somebody they align with, and
Mhm.
someone that has the expertise in that specific area or sector, industry, however
Yeah,
you want
and
to
that
refer to
that will help them, Amanda. I mean, the bottom line is they're getting in touch with you. Like I had somebody call me last week and send me a message on Facebook. It was a landlord that had a problem with his washing machine. He said, "What do you think it is?" Well, I sent him my phone number. I got in touch with him twice on Facebook. He hasn't even called because I would have told him this. I would have said, "You know what? You take that audio and you send it to this guy that I use for repairs, and they'll tell you what needs to be done. You don't have to figure out what it is. Let them figure it out. It doesn't cost you anything for them to let you know what it's going to be and how much it's going to be to fix." So that's how you help each other, right? People come to you because they need something answered. That's
Mhm.
what they want. I mean, you don't go to somebody unless you need something from them. So I go to a mortgage broker because I want a mortgage. Well, if I go to a real estate agent, I want them to sell my properties. Like, I mean, I just don't go to somebody. I mean, I say hello and everything like that. But the bottom line, when it gets serious, Amanda,
Mhm.
it's because I need some services, right? So when they come
Right.
to us, you can figure out what kind of services they need. If they need anything at all, they just need a helping hand some way or another. And that's why you and I have social media. We have Facebook where we can answer any question. And that's where they find me. So social media
Mhm.
is good that way, is that you have a presence and they can always reach out to you. But that's becoming more and more difficult on Facebook, as you know, Amanda.
Yes, yes, it is. And they tend to play around with the algorithms and pull accounts and restrict accounts and all
Yes,
of those
yes,
different things.
yes.
But what I found over the years is that when you're building relationships with people, you go to an expert or you go to a consultant because they usually can see the risks and barriers that you may not see. You may not have the knowledge or expertise to see what's ahead. So you go to people who are experts in that field because they have an awareness and education about
Mm-hmm,
things that you may not know or see, right? And so, especially when you're dealing with business, sometimes these numbers are quite large and the risks are large, and so
mm-hmm,
are the consequences. And so, when you're doing business, you have to be strong in your why. Why are you offering what you're offering, who you're offering it to, and who you want to be seen as. It's not to say to never talk about what you do with other people or any of those things,
mm-hmm.
but there is a balance. You should always focus on building the connection and the relationship first,
Mm-hmm.
and then it should be an exchange of information. You both
Yeah.
share pieces about yourself, and then you can kind of move on and decide if you want to collaborate or move ahead or, all those different things. But it's too anxiety producing when you go into let's say, a Zoom or a call, and you're already thinking, I need to get the sale, I need to get the
Yeah.
sale, because that's
Too
going to
much
make it
pressure.
even
Too much
worse.
pressure. Yeah.
And if you go in and you come from an educational perspective and answer the questions people want and try to help them solve the problems that they're having, and you can't do that if you're not working in that industry on the
Of
front
course not.
on the front
Yeah.
lines. You can't do that because you're just not aware of what's going on in that industry or sector, and your information might be outdated, and there could be new things that are going on.
Yeah.
So even as a business owner, you're learning, it never ends. You're
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
learning about your industry, and your clients and your customers, they count on you to continue to do that so you're up to date so you can give the best advice and
Yeah.
expertise and solve all those issues.
Yeah. And
So
that's
that
where education comes in, right? And I
yeah.
know you and I are studying all the time. I mean, you actually did a search on your own company, and you found out they were talking about the Guinness World Record that happened. I don't know, what year was that? Was that 2019 or 2020?
I think it was 2019.
2019, yeah, because I
Yeah.
was there, right? And
Yeah.
and but and it pops up and they say congratulations. I mean, so like when you put the information, like I really believe in a website. A website doesn't have to be expensive, could be just a one pager, but at least you can talk about yourself on there. So when people start to get to know you, they may do the search about you before they talk to you or after they talk to you. So at least with your website, they can find out who you are, especially for you with your magnetic publishing. You talk about a lot of things about publishing. I don't know if I think you have our shows on there, and
Yep.
our Spotify, like we do shows all the time, guys. We do two radio shows, and we do the YouTube, and we'll probably be doing more things in the future. But we're very busy people. I mean, myself, I'm busy with my real estate. I'm renovating. This is a very, very busy time of year. And Amanda's very busy. She has so many books waiting to be published, you
Yes.
know. So we're very busy people, but we have enough time to do this Zoom meeting because we're concerned about people who want to start a business and don't know where to start and don't even know what skills they have.
Mhm.
Because you don't need to try 20 different businesses. You start with one skill that you're doing right now. You can ask even AI, what kind of a business can I run with this one skill? You can put your CV in there and it'll tell you what to do. And you just try
Exactly.
to make your first dollar, Amanda. I mean, people are
Mhm.
talking about millions, but they haven't even made $1. Wouldn't
It's
you
right.
agree?
It's true. And part of having a business, again, if your why is clear, why you're doing it. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
you want to, make better quality socks. Maybe that's your business.
Sure.
Then you focus on that and you
Mm-hmm.
start there. And then when you have mastered that, you slowly move up.
Yeah.
But people overwhelm themselves a lot.
Yeah.
And again, I want to go back to something that we talked about earlier when we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about searching.
Yeah.
So, part of the reason why you can check if you're meeting your why, you're meeting your values, your
Mm-hmm.
missions, your purpose, is
Mm-hmm.
do a self audit, a self
Mm-hmm.
inventory. Google
Yes.
your business. What's coming up? What is the first thing people are seeing? Look at your social media.
Mm-hmm.
What posts are coming up when your business name's typed in? It's great to have authority and appear everywhere, but it's all about making sure that what you're saying online is you're actually providing to your people.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yes.
I've learned that if you're really good at your business, word of mouth travels fast and people will come to you. They
Mm-hmm.
will trust you. And
Yes.
I see a lot of business owners who kind of get roped into all these expensive advertising
Good
campaigns
point.
and
Good point,
all
Amanda.
these expensive bells and whistles, and
Mm-hmm.
they get very little in return. So it's always good to, as a business owner, know your return on investment, your ROI. If you're going to run an advertisement, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. How are you going to get that money back? So the
Exactly.
books always have to balance.
Yeah.
And they will balance when you're dialed into your why and you're serving the right people and you're connecting with the right people and doing the right things for your people. And you and I, we've had to learn that the hard way through business over the years. We have, me
Yeah.
personally, I have tried to work with people and we were just so different and
Yeah,
we
doesn't
I
work.
tried and you get in the game of tug of war and sometimes you just don't align with certain things and
Yes.
that's okay.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that because our unique our uniqueness and our individuality, it's people are searching for that every
Yes.
single day.
Yes.
So that's why it's important to be who you're going to be and be clear about your why and
Mm-hmm.
your intent.
Mm-hmm.
And the people
Mm-hmm.
will find you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are forceful in your approach and your strategy, that can really put people off. And I've
Exactly.
seen
Depends
that
on
happen a lot.
yeah, it depends on the personality, right? Birds of a feather flock together.
Mhm.
So, for instance, I'm a person that likes to be soft spoken. I know what I'm talking about when I talk about things, but I admit there are things I don't know. So, I'm not going to be dealing with a person who's a loud mouth and pushy and gets angry on the phone. I
Yeah.
just had it this morning. I just had it this morning.
Yeah.
Somebody was looking for a rental and I guess she was very inexperienced. And I said to her, well, you know what? She first of all didn't even tell me. She was saying she was looking for a short-term rental, and she said, what does that mean? So I explained to her what that meant. She said, do you have anything? I said, yes, I do, but only in one city. And but she never told me she found me on my website. She
Mhm.
came up with another name. So I was kind of searching, where did she find me? But she found me on Google, which is good. That means it's working. The SEO is working.
That's
Okay.
right.
Well, then as we continued talking, she was saying, how much would it cost? And, could she just stay for 2 weeks? I said, I'm sorry, I can't. The minimum is 1 month. And I said, and then she kept asking me, who are you? So I told her who I was. And maybe she couldn't hear very well because first of all the connection wasn't very good at the beginning, and to me it sounded like somebody who needed a place very quickly. She probably was in trouble financially, who knows what was going on, right? So she says, I'd like to come and see it. I said, well, why don't you look at the website first? So I have looked at the website. Which one? Then she mentioned the website I had mentioned, not the one she had mentioned. You understand? So then she was getting angry at me. And I said, I don't think this is going to work out. You can imagine somebody coming to your home who's angry to begin with. So I did say to her, I think go and find a bed and breakfast or a motel in Niagara Falls. I said, they can cater to you a little bit better. And then she says I was rude. I wasn't rude at all. She wasn't making any sense what she was saying, and then she gets angry and starts screaming at me as if I would even put myself through that. Just like you, we've had people who misbehave. Well, just shut it off. That's it. I said goodbye, and that's the end of what I know about you. But I mean, like why I would never do business with somebody who's pushy because I'm not pushy. So again, birds of a feather flock together, and you and I do work very well because we're the same, soft spoken. We know our stuff. We're experts in our field, but we're willing to learn. So then anyone who comes to me, that's the kind of person I'll do business with. I'm not gonna do business with a pushy, loudmouth person.
No. And I think too, it comes down to, you have to look at business like this. Is this a short-term transaction or a
Yes.
long-term? A
Yes.
short term would be, okay, you're at a fair, they're going to buy a pair of socks from you,
Yeah.
and you don't have to
Exactly.
see them again. A
Yeah.
long term is a publishing contract where I could
Yeah.
be working with this client for the rest of their life, a few
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
6 months until we get something published. And so I look at it like this. If we've had a falling out, a miscommunication or conflict in the
Mhm.
first little bit,
Yeah.
I know right there that this may not be the best situation because long term, this
Yes.
could escalate. And it has
And
happened.
it will. And it will
And
escalate.
because people have, they don't, they have ideas of what something should look like or how an industry operates, or and then you have to try to educate them in the
Mhm.
same time as meet their needs. So you come into these kind of ethical dilemmas. And
Yes.
as a leader or business owner, you're going to be faced with it kind of all the time. And like you said, sometimes you're just going to bump heads and you're not
Yeah.
going to align.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So,
that's okay.
and it
So
is
so I
okay.
sent her a message again, maybe go to a bed and breakfast or a motel in Niagara Falls because a lot of them are in Niagara Falls for people that may need something like that, or wherever she is. I didn't ask where she was living or anything like that. But I always try and give them, help them along. I mean, she's obviously struggling because she has to find something fast. So she's obviously come up against a wall many times. I'm not the first wall she's come up against, right? So, to have patience with people, I always say to everybody, we have to, especially at these times, Amanda,
Oh yeah.
with the way the world is going and people running scared, we all have to have patience with each other and understand where they're coming from. They're all suffering. Everyone's suffering. No one has come through to 2020 up to this time without having suffered one way or another, whether it's financially, whether it's with health, or whether it's family, whatever's happened with the family.
Mhm.
So a very, very stressful times, very
And
stressful.
so, and that's a part of business, is problem solving and being able to navigate through those struggles, and the
Yes,
times change
yes,
with the times. Our
yes.
business landscape, it has changed drastically over the last few decades, and every single day we are seeing it change to economic
Mm-hmm,
policies,
mm-hmm. Yes,
domestic policies, all of
yes,
these different things. And
yes.
it does affect business. And
Of
if you don't
course.
pay attention, and you're not clear about your why, you're not clear about your purpose, who you want to work with, why you want to work with them, and
Yeah.
your message, it's very easy to kind of get pulled off of the track. And that happens to new business owners a lot.
Oh,
They
yeah.
they have so much coming at them, and they're like, I can't do this. This is so stressful. Like I wanted to work an 8-hour job. But they
Yeah.
forget a business is like a child,
Yes.
you've got to nurture and
Yeah.
maintain that continually.
Yeah.
And, sometimes we are going to be faced with all kinds of issues and struggles and all of those things. But I think what it comes down to is finding, your group of people
Yes.
and who you align with,
Yes.
and how can you work together for your cause? How can you collaborate? What can you do to impact the people that you serve and offer them, the best quality services and products? And
Mm-hmm.
and I think we've lost the meaning of business along the way over
Yes.
the years. You see this a lot where these large corporations, they get themselves into ethical dilemmas, and instead
Oh,
of
yes.
owning it and being accountable, they'll
Yeah.
try to cover it up.
Of
And that
course.
really, people don't really like that. You have to be willing to be authentic and accountable,
Mm-hmm.
and again, come back to that why. And
Yeah.
so every decision you make in business should be evolved around that why. And the why has to be greater than I just want to make more money.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
I
has to be
agree. I
deeper than that.
agree. Yeah.
That
Uh,
is so surface level.
yeah. And for me, the why for me was again, like you, independence, financial freedom. But it's a 24-hour, like you, baby, right? I mean, it's a 24-hour business, is 24 hours. Like yesterday I was with some friends for a barbecue. We were all business people, all small business people. And so we were sharing things. They were asking me questions. I was asking them. So there it is, birds of a feather flock together. So sure, I could be with people that have their that work. I have no problem with that, but they don't understand what a small business person is going through right now. But
No,
other small businesses understand because we're all going through it at the same time. So
we are.
very important, Amanda. So when we come up against people who don't understand us, it's probably because we're not the same. Right? It's a customer that maybe has a job or is out of a job or is homeless or whatever else. I mean, there's so many homeless people right now. So they wouldn't understand where we're coming from in certain questions we ask, right? We ask certain questions on purpose to get a feel for the person, right?
Mhm.
And you have to do that. Like, there's been many times, Amanda, where I've had people that wanted to come and see one of my properties. And sometimes I can't always make it. I can't be there on at that time or whatever. So what they do is they start screaming at me on the phone. Well, they just self-eliminated themselves because they haven't even come to my place. They're already misbehaving. Because that for
Mhm.
me, that's a misbehavior, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm old school. I'm sorry. I learned manners. My generation, we learn manners. I
Mm.
don't. I'm not. I don't take temper tantrums. If I do, it's in my home. It's not in front of anybody else. That's embarrassing, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I know you too, right? You have temper tantrums that happen at
I
your end. Not
I
you, the
have a
others.
really hard time with them. I really
Yeah.
do because my brain doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
learned that half of the time when I run into miscommunications or conflicts, it's
Mhm.
not about me. It's
No.
about them.
Yeah.
Something's happening or happening to them, and they're
Yes.
not able to navigate it or manage it. So
Yeah.
it comes into you hold space for those people. You give them
Yeah.
grace.
Yes.
Maybe you're not going to do business today, but maybe in 5 years they're going to have their breakthrough and they're going to grow and they're going to
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
real go-getter. And maybe you come again and
Yeah.
you align.
Yeah.
And it's not that we're not going to do business at all. Maybe it's just we're not going to do it yet,
Yes.
and that happens. We outgrow people,
Mhm.
we align with new people, and that's the beauty of business is
Yeah.
when you are in business, you get to decide how far and where
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, I love connecting with people. I love people. I love connecting with people. But as you said, I've been in the business field too long. I've seen it. I've gone the crown, got the t-shirt. I know where this leads, and I'm not following you down that road. I will cheer
Exactly.
for you and support you, but I'm not going down that road with you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where you have
Yeah.
to be. You've got to be tough in your morality,
Yes.
tough in your
Yes. Oh,
ethics.
absolutely. Know what you're worth too.
Yes,
And
exactly.
sometimes
Because,
you have to walk away, Amanda, as you know, right? Yeah.
yep. And
Yeah.
that's it. Nothing's worth your peace.
No.
And not on a personal level, and definitely not on a business level.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if you can't figure out the solution, it is absolutely okay to outsource. It's
Mhm.
okay to go to a mentor, go to
Yeah.
a coach,
Yeah.
join a new business network, and get some fresh perspective in that.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
we can't know everything, we can't see everything in front of us, and we need other people. And
Yes. You.
you know, you can't do business alone. Business is not a solo activity. It's not. It is in some ways, like no
Mhm.
one's going to come and do your quarterly sales report for you.
Yeah.
But, you can collaborate with other people
For sure.
and you can create beautiful programs, beautiful courses, beautiful, events and all of these different things.
Mhm.
And you can help each other, but it's got to be equal and it's got to
Yes.
be give and take. The
Yes.
arrangement, the deal, the contract, it's got to be fair. Fair
Exactly.
practices across
Yeah.
the board.
Has to be
Because
win-win. It has to be win-win, Amanda.
I agree.
Because
I
really, why
agree.
should there be a winner and a loser? It's hard enough as it is. And the people I think that are the most successful are the ones that it's a win-win, right? I mean, at the end, we're all trying to find the same thing. We're all trying to make some money to pay our bills and pay our taxes. That's all. When you think about it, at the end of because I'm in my 70s already. That's all we're doing is paying our bills. Well, I don't want
Yep,
to live just for my bills. There's more to life than that, right? And certainly when you're starting a business, you're starting like a creation, right?
that's right.
And it takes time. And if I could just suggest, and I talk about this all the time, Amanda, and how I did it is you need to have a job while
Mhm.
you build your business. Your business will never be able to pay for everything you need to pay for because there's nothing there. You haven't even made your first dollar. So you either work part-time, a number of jobs, like I did 7 jobs, and I saved the money and I was able to buy more properties and all of that. But that's how I did it, a number of jobs, and then I worked on my business on the side. And I think you were doing the same thing, weren't you, Amanda?
I did. So how it actually came to be, I started an MLM multi-level
Okay.
marketing. And the reason
Okay.
why I chose that is because I didn't have to worry about all the bigger responsibilities of running a business, but I could learn the skills. I could
Yes.
attend the training seminars. I could get the sales training. I could learn all the basic foundations and learn how to kind of run a business in some ways and
Mm-hmm.
learn all the basic skills. And then I went and I still maintained my MLM business for years, and I went back to work, and
Mm-hmm.
then I got into the writing as my side thing.
Yes.
And then I kept developing skills and I kept working hard, developing leadership
Mm-hmm.
skills, you
Mm-hmm.
know, all of those things. And that did pay for my writing. And I
Sure.
was able to build my writing portfolio. And then eventually I ended up buying the company that I started writing for.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of a big
Excellent.
level up for me. And then I
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
rebranded. And as a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people know, I rebranded because I wanted to make the business mine. So I wanted to add my personal touch. So I worked very closely with my coach Robert for many
Mm-hmm.
many years, and
Yes.
he taught me many many things. And I had to. He didn't give me all the answers though. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"This is where to look. This is
Yeah.
what that you're on the right track."
That's
And
good.
so he let me grow and learn at the same time. But I had to decide as a business owner what the most important aspects of the business were. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't about generating a profit in the beginning. It was about mastering the skills,
Mm-hmm.
mastering what was I going to do. Well, what did I change? I offer grant programs now.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
focus more on collaborations and new
Yes.
authors and
Yes.
emerging authors, helping them understand how to leverage their careers. I focused on different angles of it. I took all of the beautiful things that Robert created and I created extensions to them.
Mm-hmm.
Added,
That's
and that was
great.
part of my rebrand. Still kept a lot of the original stuff. But when you come into business, when you know what you want and you see your vision and you stick to that and your why, you can really achieve anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just
That's
have to
very true.
dial in and be super focused, and again, you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes. That is absolutely fine. It's how you handle them.
Exactly.
Do you blame everybody else, or do you say, hey, I'm a newer business owner. I didn't know that, or I didn't see that coming. How can I fix that? Where do I go from here? And a lot of it starts with accountability, because if
Yeah.
you're honest and
Yeah.
you own it, people will say, that's an honest business owner,
Sure.
and I'm going to
Sure.
do again. But you make
Yeah.
it right.
Yeah, yeah. And then Robert J. Moore, I mean, I really admired him. He did so much for so many people. And I remember when I first met him, I don't remember the year now. It was when he had the baby was just born, right? So I don't know how old the child is, 7 or 8 or whatever. But I mean, I was so, what I liked about Robert J. Moore, and everyone look him up, he was very generous with his time. And like, I used to talk to him on the phone to get ideas, right? But he was a very kind man, and he tried to include everybody. He didn't make himself to be this so-called guru, which all these people try to do. But he was a leader, and he knew so many great people. And I met so many great people through him too. And he had great events in Toronto, and I used to go there all the time. And I really enjoyed, the Guinness World Record for the largest number of authors that signed the book at the same time. I think you were saying
Yeah,
you were
that was awesome.
26. Yeah, that was so much fun. That
It
weekend was
was. And
fun.
he did that big awards event, and that's where it
Yes,
started for me. That's when
yes,
I really started thinking about my why, because he
yes.
had some amazing speakers there. And I really I had really considered writing as a full-time career.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I really hadn't considered it, but Robert was a coach
Yep.
that made me think about, I
The
still have
people.
mine too. I love it.
That was
It was
2019. That was 2019, eh?
It was a while ago, but you know
Yeah.
what? That was a really great event,
Oh,
and I had a blast. I met some amazing people
me
there,
too.
and
Me too.
it fueled my why. I started thinking about writing deeper than just doing it to make money. And I
Yes.
didn't even focus on the barriers at the time. I didn't care because I just got in my head, well, I really like doing this. I want to do this full time. but
Yeah.
I knew that I couldn't sustain myself financially. So I
Hmm.
had to work harder. And
Sure.
that meant working more jobs like you mentioned.
Of course.
But,
Of course.
it's, you start somewhere. And I think it's important you never forget where you started from, which
Yeah.
is why I wanted to offer grant programs because I struggled so much financially in the beginning trying to fund my author career and build my portfolio. It was very, very expensive. And I got up at 3 a.m. every single day to write my books. So you
Sure.
have to have discipline.
Oh,
You've got
yeah.
to know what you're working on, what you're doing, why you're doing it, who you're doing it for.
Yeah.
And a business is just every single day, it's like standing in a wave pool. And the
It
waves
is.
they're gonna get bigger, they're gonna get smaller, they might sit,
And harder.
you're
In
just
some
sitting in a
cases, it's
wave pool
harder.
and you just got to
Yeah.
learn to swim. And
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
not about, it's but if you try to resist it, the more resistance you create inside that wave pool, the harder it's going to be. But this is why we're doing this so that
Yeah.
people can know you don't have to be alone through all that resistance. There are always ways to find solutions, find tools, find resources. And there is no shame in asking other people. In
That's right.
fact, most people are tickled to death that you would go to them and ask them for help. So there's
Absolutely. They
nothing to
love
be
it.
embarrassed about.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And I think that's what it is it's in the beginning, we get a little bit of that nervousness to ask people questions. But I know if you're wondering it, somebody else is probably
Sure.
wondering it.
Sure. Yeah.
And, business is all about decision making and problem
It is.
solving
It is. Every
and being
single day.
creative.
Oh, being creative, absolutely. Yeah, being
Yes.
creative. We'll have to do another show about that in the future. But
Yes,
did
we
you
will.
want to finish off then, Amanda? Did you want to finish?
Yeah, so I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch Maria and I's YouTube
Mhm,
videos and spending
mhm,
time with us. And we're going to be talking more about our own personal experiences in coming episodes
mhm.
and more about who we are and our experience. So we're very excited, and we're going to see you guys all next week.
Yep.
And we're really happy that we are able to give you guys all of the information that we can. And
Mhm.
we just want to thank you for your time.
Yes, and please, if you want to listen to us every Friday, we're on at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on realwealthradio.ca, where Amanda and I talk about times of change, and we talk about how business is changing again, which is a little different than what we do here because we're talking about, how to start a business on a zero budget. And then on Sunday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, again on realwealthradio.ca, we have Magnetic Minds, where we talk about publishing. And Amanda has some great topics that nobody even thinks about. So she always surprises me. You can find this on Spotify. Am I right? Is it under Magnetic Minds then? These are Spotify shows?
And Business Renegades. So this show that you're watching right now, we're going to have it available in audio form. So if you're in the car and you can't
Mm-hmm.
watch the video because you're driving, you can
Yeah.
throw it on Spotify and listen as you work. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to be offering more formats. We've just added Business Renegades to
Yes.
Substack,
Yeah. Yes.
Instagram. Now
Yes.
we're on YouTube and
Yeah.
we'll be on Facebook and expanding platforms with all different types of content, all
Mhm.
different types of format of
Yeah.
content. So we're really super excited. So stick around because there's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah. And we're on Rumble too. I'm uploading it on Rumble and probably some other sites that I'll mention, but it's just one step at a time. Everyone, you can be overwhelmed by social media. Let's face it, look at what we just mentioned now. But because there's two of us, we can divide the work up. And
Yeah.
we've been on social media, myself from 2011. I think you were even on social media earlier than me because you're a younger person. But I mean, like don't overwhelm yourself. You don't need all the social media presence in the world. Just get a couple and just start very slowly and build up and then mention to people where they can find you. But a website is very important. And I know Amanda builds websites. You may want to go to her, and she does the electronic virtual card, business card, which you can let somebody take a picture of it. And there you go. They can call you up. Half the time, they're not going to call you up, you know. And listen, if you belong to the Chamber of Commerce, which I suggest everyone do, give a door prize away, some sort, something. so people get to know your name. Like this is really all it is to recognize the name, right? That's all
Mhm.
it is. It's name identification. And that's where social media presence comes in, the websites and everything else. So yeah, so listen, I'm gonna say goodbye, Amanda. We're all saying goodbye. Bye everyone. Bye. See you next
Bye.
week. Bye. Bye-bye.